We're coming at y'all real quick. We're going to get right into it, man. I don't need no introductions. I ain't got time for all that shit. This is what we're dealing with right now in 2025. Everybody needs to prepare. To be aware is to be alive. Let's go.
Welcome to California in Focus. I'm Eliana Kernodle. California lawmakers have proposed a bill restricting self-defense. Joining me with more on this story is the Center Square's California reporter, Kenneth Schrupp. Kenneth, what is in this bill?
Hey, Eliana, this is a really odd bill. These California lawmakers proposed restricting self-defense, but by mandating retreats, you have a duty to try retreating. Otherwise, you can be tried for homicide. So this will also end crime-stopping protections. Lawmakers proposed restricting self-defense, but by mandating retreats, you have a duty to...
Lawmakers are proposing a bill that will restrict self-defense and mandating that you retreat. Are y'all not hearing the words? Huh? Do you wonder why I keep screaming Black Law's Dictionary and Bouvier's Law Dictionary and all these other different dictionaries that you need to be using when you want to understand what it is that they're saying to you? One word that should stick out right away is mandate. That's a word that you heard all during the scamdemic. Mandate, mandate, mandate. And what did we uncover? What was the original Lone Wolf trying to tell y'all before they took down my first channel? Huh? Because they took down my first channel during COVID. I wouldn't shut up. Remember? I was telling y'all on my first channel, a mandate is not law. A mandate is some corporation type, you in some sort of lodge or some sort of group thingy. That's what that shit is about. A mandate is something that you will go along with as long as you agree to participate in whatever it is that you're dealing with that brought the mandate upon. You understand? Like if you belong to some sort of lodge or you like belong to some sort of sorority or fraternity or you work for a company or this, that, and the other, they impose mandates. Their mandates stick. You know why? Because you agreed to work for that company. You agreed to be a part of that fraternity, that sorority, etc. So that means you have to follow it. But as long as I'm on the outside of that, meaning in this case, the state of California Incorporated, because keep in mind, California has a DUNS number. Remember I got on here and did a screen share showing y'all the state's DUNS number and giving you the largest city within that state's DUNS number? Remember I did that video? So as long as you remain outside of the state of Illinois' incorporated jurisdiction, their mandates do not apply to you.
Tried retreating. Otherwise, you can be tried for homicide. So this will also end crime-stopping protections. Historically, there have been protections where if you are trying to maintain the peace, you're trying to stop a felony, you're trying to protect someone or their property, you may not have to be charged with homicide. Unfortunately, this bill would eliminate that protection, which would really increase the liability you could face for trying to help someone in danger if you accidentally hurt someone. It would also...
That would include your relatives, like your mama. Did I or did I not just do a video not too long ago talking about self-preservation? Huh? Self-preservation. Because nobody wants to deal with nature anymore. You know, the British white boys called Tears for Fears, right? A couple of white boys, pale-skinned boys out of the UK from back in the day. Tears for Fears. They got a song called Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And within the lyrics, it talks about how we will find you on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. You guys are screwed, man. And I'm not more so talking to my YouTube subscribers. I'm more so talking to everybody else. Y'all motherfuckers are screwed. You all are so far from fucking reality. It's not funny. I still have some hope, right? But I also know how dangerous hope is. So for the vast majority of these people, I don't have nothing for you. I just don't have the energy, man. And like I said, I'm not more so talking to my YouTube subscribers because I figure you guys should get it. I'm more so talking about everybody else. People that's still sitting around, they can't spot a subverter. They can't spot people that has an agenda that don't go nothing along with helping your ass. You can't spot people like the Elon Musk dude who really don't own Tesla. He didn't create nothing. He didn't invent nothing. And you got people like me that's on here telling you, man, that these people are just a face. Mark Zuckerberg does not own Facebook. He's never owned it. Facebook is the government. Tesla is the government. Why do you think Elon Musk is where he is?
Require you to only use force that is, quote, reasonably necessary. So if you're found to have used more force than possibly needed to put down or prevent a threat, then you also could face that higher legal threshold and end up in prison.
Now think about this. This don't apply to citizens on patrol, which you call cops. This don't apply to them. They could tear your ass apart. And they're going to say that they acted within the scope of their policy. But you, on the other hand, you fuck somebody up because they trying to hurt your mother, your daughter, your sister. Now they want to put you in prison. Now, these are the same motherfuckers who have told you that policy officers are not out there to protect you. These are the same motherfuckers that got Supreme Court cases for case law. For anybody who fuck with case law, I only fuck with it because I like to stay on top of what these people are doing. I personally think case law is fucking bullshit. Personally, that's just my personal opinion. Now, am I up on case law? Do I know how to seek out case law? Yes. Have I read case law? Yeah. But I personally think it's a bunch of trash. But seeing that they have that shit and it do exist, well, let's have a conversation about the case law. Why do you have Supreme Court cases telling you that these motherfucker people are not out here to protect you? So why am I calling you? Why do I need you to show up to come help me when it's up to your discretion on whether or not if you decide to come or not?
Really, this bill would eliminate your ability to defend yourself in a stand your ground fashion when you're defending your own property. It says that you would no longer be justified in killing a person if you are just defending property or habitation. At least that's what it says in the bill summary. This is sort of a foundation to...
Ain't that what the Canadian officials was telling the people up in Canada? Ain't that what they've been telling them? They've been on the record saying this shit. Like inside the House of Parliament. They've been on record saying that, yeah, just leave your car keys by the front door of your house or your apartment. Just leave them close to the front door so that way when the thieves kick in the door, they can just grab your car keys and turn around and walk back out and just take your car. And y'all wonder why I don't be on here. Man, I'm not finna be on this motherfucker making 15,000 goddamn videos with all this shit going on in this world. Motherfuckers better get it. You better get it to fucking together. It's just like how I said in a video in the past, even if we're not in a position to where we can all link up and come together, then I'm talking about like-minded people because that's something that I'm working on. I'm working on something like that with Jim Redwood, right? But as I've expressed before in videos in the past, if you're not able to do that at this point in time, right now as you listening to this video, if you're not capable of doing that, you better be holding it the fuck down wherever you are until you're able to get to a position to where you can link up with like-minded people and y'all can build. But either way, regardless of what you all choose to do, I'm not finna be on this motherfucker making 10,000 videos with all this shit going on. This is insane. I was just watching one of the YouTube shorts, just popped up in my YouTube shorts from the sister, I Am Baby Girl Slaughter. And she was pointing her camera up to the sky, showing all of the chemtrails and shit that they spraying. And it's just like, you know, what she was saying, you know, it's like, man, this shit gotta stop. This has to stop. And being on here making 20,000 motherfucking YouTube videos ain't gonna stop it. This has to stop. Period. Period. I personally believe that those aircrafts that they're flying are unmanned. I personally do not believe that there's a pilot in them planes that's spraying that shit in the sky. I personally don't believe it. That's just my opinion. But I personally believe that they're unmanned. After all, hell, all these aircrafts fly themselves any fucking way. When you get on a plane to go from Dallas to Seattle or from LA to Chicago or whatever, the pilots ain't flying them fucking planes. You leave here to go to the Bahamas or to Jamaica or whatever the case may be, them pilots are not flying those planes. They're not. Period.
Self-defense in this country, the ability to defend your own home. So there was a lot of backlash against this.
And what are people saying about this bill, particularly the author and some of the supporters?
Well, let's first talk about what the supporters say, because that'll lead into what the author does think. The supporters of the bill, Everytown for Gun Safety, was one of the organizations that immediately put out a statement of support. This is a gun control group. They said that this bill would block white supremacists from exploiting self-defense to justify shootings. And let me read you a quote from them.
Do you hear they bullshit narrative, man? Just like the bullshit narrative that they gave you during the Highland Park shooting. The Highland Park, Illinois shooting that happened a couple of years back on the 4th of July or whatever. Remember that shit? Remember how I told y'all in one of the videos that Highland Park is a ritzy-ass area? That's where a lot of your politicians and your movie stars and all these other motherfucking people, this is where they live. This is where the Home Alone house is at. That's where the house that in Ferris Bueller Day Off, not Ferris Bueller's house, because that house is located in California. Ferris Bueller's friend, the one he kept calling to tell her come pick him up and shit. The dude who father had the Ferrari and shit. That house is in Highland Park also. The house that's on the stilts in Ferris Bueller Day Off. That house is in Highland Park. And so is the house with Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone and the original Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And it was some other movie that they made. But it's the same house in Highland Park. They always got some bullshit narrative. Oh, the dude was supposed to have been fucked up in the head. He was never supposed to have a firearm card to begin with. And his father had to co-sign for it because he was under 21. And you can't get a firearm card in Illinois if you're under 21 without your parents co-signing. But your parents ain't got a co-sign for you to go into the fucking military. And you think I'm going to be on here making 7-hour live streams and shit? You crazy as hell. With all this shit going on, number one, I'm not finna be on here just constantly repeating my motherfucking self and talking about the same shit over and over again. That's number one. Number two, the people that subscribe to my channel or any of these other channels, y'all should be getting it. You all should get it. You all should understand. This is why when I was doing my Zoom meetings, I was telling people in the Zoom meeting, it's like, well, you know, man, we all supposed to be out here doing our thing. We supposed to understand what's going on, and we supposed to be working to do what it is that we need to do based off what we know is going on. So that means in 2 weeks, when we come back and reconvene this Zoom meeting, everybody should have something to talk about. Everybody should have something to share. This is the reason for why you keep hearing me say, man, a lot of y'all motherfuckers is screwed. And I'm not necessarily talking about, again, my subscribers. I'm just talking about people in general. A lot of your family members, a lot of your neighbors, your co-workers, you could just look at them and shake your head and be like, y'all motherfuckers are fucked. Seriously. Now you want to talk about white supremacy. You want to put this bill on the fucking books in California for some fucking white supremacy? When y'all ever gave a fuck about white supremacy and the Klan and all this other shit? You got Ku Klux Klan members that hold the highest form of fucking office in this country. You got Ku Klux Klan members that hold the highest form of law enforcement in this fucking country, and they have for a very long fucking time now. And now all of a sudden, Cali, commie fucking California of all places, you want to talk to me about white supremacy? Get the fuck all the way out of here. Please.
They said, white supremacists and other extremists have hidden behind self-defense laws to fire a gun and turn any conflict into a death sentence. We thank Assemblymember Zabur for his commitment to gun safety. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at what Zabur said after the national backlash to this law.
Anybody, any melanated person who believe that this is a great fucking idea is just as dumb as the goddamn people that's coming up with it. It's just that simple. Now I want you all to hear this. Seeing that it's coming from a sheriff's mouth. I believe this is Spokane, Washington sheriff. Spokane County, Washington State sheriff. That I believe that's finna go into speaking. I want you all to listen to what this man has to say. Right? I guess this must be the shit that Red be talking about when he be saying there's some good cops and shit out here. I guess this motherfucker must be one of the people that he talking about. Right? But I want you all to listen to what this cop got to fucking say. This sheriff, excuse me, in regards to the Second Amendment. Listen to this shit.
Sheriff Knowles, what is your chief objection to this bill?
So my chief objection to this bill is the premise that for anyone in the state of Washington or in the United States would have to get a permit from their government to exercise a constitutionally protected right. Here in the state of Washington, the people who drafted the Washington State Constitution 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, had very strong language that supported gun rights and gun ownership, very much in line with the Constitution of the United States. And in the last probably 5 years, it has become fashionable with this legislature to erode away our ability to keep and possess firearms.
Are you not hearing them? Did you hear what the man just said? He just literally told you that they trying to take away your fucking ability to defend yourself. Now, this is some fucking sheriff in Washington State telling you this. He telling you that the government is trying to take away your ability to defend yourself. He's telling you it has nothing to do with the Highland Park shooting. You know, Columbine and all this other bullshit. It has nothing to do with that. It has every bit to do with taking away your ability to be able to defend yourself if and when the time comes. What kind of fucking moron are you if you don't understand what he's saying?
An affront to me. I think it is such an affront to what we as citizens enjoy as God-given rights through our Constitution. And the idea that they would, number one, require someone to be fingerprinted by the government, by the Washington State Patrol, to be sent into the FBI, to have a required safety course to put on and certified by the state, and to pay for that, and then to pay to have a license to carry out your constitutional rights is just ridiculous to me. And I think it shows that the legislature, at least, is fully intent on stripping away as many of our rights in this state as possible.
So you believe the government is overstepping?
Oh, I believe it is a clear overstep of government's authority. And I think it's going to be a very short trip.
So now my thing is this. If you got a so-called Leo that's telling you this, what the fuck am me making 9-hour live streams gonna do? To do what? Keep showing y'all shit like this? Y'all know most of my videos, I don't even show my face. It's because I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. I want y'all to see that it didn't come from me. Don't fucking get me. See, people get pissed off at me. People that know me, people that's related to me and all this other shit, people that's close to me, they get pissed off at me because of the way I talk. And I have to keep constantly explaining to these mofos, it ain't me saying it. I'm just repeating it. This is the reason for why I don't show my face most of the time. It's like, no, I want you to read this shit. I want you to see this shit. So you know it's not coming from me. Now, I may build my own interpretation and my own opinion based off what I showed you and, you know, all these other things. Yeah, of course, we all do that. But the initial stuff that I'm letting you read, that I'm letting you hear and see with your own two eyes, that ain't coming from me, man. When I get on this motherfucker and I make videos about IRS, right? We just use that for example, taxes. Y'all know that I've been making videos about the IRS for a very long time now. 99.9% of those videos that I make about the IRS are screen share, where I'm literally showing you what they say. It ain't me, man. I'm not the motherfucker saying it. That's why it's kind of hard for them to come after me. For number one, I'm not breaking no laws, no real laws. That's number one. Number two, I'm not going around spewing some bullshit. Not if I'm showing you where I got it from. Not if I'm proving to you, nah, bro, they the ones that wrote this shit. It's kind of hard to come after a person like that. It don't mean that they won't or that they can't. It just makes it a little difficult because it's like, well, what are you going to do to them? You going to fuck them over and charge them with what? You see what I'm saying? This is the reason for why I show the screen share. This is the reason why I do that. This is the reason why I'm letting y'all hear this sheriff instead of me just getting on here ranting and raving and talking about, oh yeah, you got sheriffs all across the country that's da-da-da. Instead of doing all that, I let y'all listen to this motherfucker. Research him. They told you his name is Sheriff Nielsen or Nelson or some shit. Up in Spokane County, Washington State. Research him. Look him up. Just know that it ain't me that's on here saying this shit.
You all of a sudden telling us for our freedom of speech, we have to go through government-sanctioned training on what is appropriate speech and what isn't. And then what's it going to stop this legislature from telling us, well, you have to get a license from the state before you speak out. I mean, these are fundamental rights we have that are given to us at birth, according to the Constitution, that this state is stripping away. The Constitution is meant to limit government, not authorize it to intrude into our lives.
Now you may
Excuse me. And see, that right there is why you can understand why Donald Trump is so-called allegedly downsizing. That's why you can understand that. Because what they have done, as you all have heard me tell y'all a million times in the past, because they are a corporation, what they have done is created sister corporations and parent companies and shit. You may know of them as the states. Huh? You might know of them as the different counties within them states, the different cities within them states. Those are sister companies. Those are parent companies. That's the reason for why they all got fucking EIN numbers. Every county, city, or what you would call a municipality, they all got EIN numbers and DUNS numbers. Every fucking village, every suburb, every county in America, they all got them. I told y'all the video that the story on one of my videos that I made. I was over in the Forest Preserve, DuPage County Forest Preserve, D-U-P-A-G-E County Forest Preserve. And one of they so-called cops ran up on me smoking a joint. I was smoking a joint as thick as your back. And the only reason why, I don't know why I didn't stop, but the motherfucker was riding a mountain bike with a mask on. That's probably the reason for why I didn't even try to hide I was too busy looking like, look at this stupid motherfucker, right? One of they fucking Forest Preserve cops rolled up on me on a mountain bike with a mask on, talking shit about me smoking a joint. The motherfucker wrote me a ticket for for having open alcohol in public. He wrote me a ticket for that. I sent it back to they fucking chief of police with all their information, with the DUNS number and all kind of shit. Like, look, man, I don't want this shit. Keep it the fuck away from me. No contract. If you insist that I pay this fine, I'm going to insist that you pay the taxes. You got to always tell them that. Put that in the paperwork that you are sending to them. Whoever it is you sending it to. First off, you need to know who to send it to, right? I ain't finna go through all that. Go back to my videos and watch that shit. But always put in the paperwork, hey man, you motherfuckers are for profit. I need your EIN number that's associated with your W-9. And if you can't provide that, then I would like for you to provide me a copy of your tax exemption letter that can only be granted to you by the IRS. And if you can't provide that and you still insist on me paying this fine, I'm going to insist on you paying the taxes. Make sure you tell them. But you got to know what the fuck you're talking about. The government is supposed to have limited reach. And all of their reach is supposed to be pertained to what we want them to do. Okay? You don't fucking elect these cocksuckers to be in power over you. What's wrong with y'all? For you people that vote, what's wrong with you? You can't explain to me why you sat up here and voted for somebody to have authority over. Oh, yeah, you can explain it. That's right. You motherfuckers don't have no self-preservation. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. We're going to play a little bit more of this because I think some of the things he said in here is very profound. Then I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I've said enough.
A very impassioned statement. We have a listen. When did you make that, and why was it important for you to speak with us today?
You know, there's a litany of anti-gun legislation that is proposed this session, and really there is just a lot of really anti-public safety legislation that is proposed this year, and a lot of it making its way out of committee and getting into the House for floor votes and the Senate for floor votes that will absolutely erode public safety. And when I ran for office as sheriff, I knew that my voice was important to stand up for people's constitutional rights. And frankly, the office of the sheriff statewide, and even in the Western United States, has been one where there is one elected individual who is supposed to stand up and protect people's constitutional rights. And the legislature dislikes that idea so much that there's even legislation being considered today that is going to allow the legislature to give the authority to a state body to remove elected sheriffs from office. And my belief is they're doing it because they don't like what some of the sheriffs in this state are saying.
And not only that, the sheriff has the sole authority. You got to understand that even the state police is unconstitutional. The state police is the bodyguard for the governor. You got to understand that shit is unconstitutional, man. All state police are unconstitutional. Don't give a fuck what state you in. All state police are unconstitutional. The sheriff has the authority. The U.S. Marshals. This is the reason for why you supposed to kick them in they motherfucking ass when they do wrong. When you see them acting like local cops, you know, state police, local cops like Chicago PD and, you know, all these suburban municipalities and all that. When you see sheriff's departments and you see members of the United States Marshal's Office acting like that, you supposed to bust their fucking head to the white meat because they are on a different plateau. The sheriff's departments across the country and the U.S. Marshal is on a different playing field than any of these other motherfuckers that you will call law enforcement. And it's only for one sole reason. It's for one reason and one reason only. When you talk about the law and law enforcement within the Constitution, the only thing that exists is the sheriff and the marshal. Nothing else exists. Go back and watch the movie The Harder They Fall with Idris Elba and fucking Regina King and all them. There was nothing they was talking about but the marshal and the sheriff and a deputy. They weren't talking about nothing else. The fucking FBI didn't exist. The state police didn't exist, man. They didn't have all that shit. So, of course, they want to put together some shit to where you can just remove a motherfucker from office that's within the sheriff's department because you don't like something that he said or because he wants to protect the people. They'll treat you just like, if they able to pull that off, they'll treat you just like that scene in The Harder They Fall. Remember when Idris Elba first got out of prison and he went back to where he was from and his mans was the sheriff and he was holding it down? And his own deputies came in there and pulled pistols on him and said, man, come talk to this man. Because remember, he told me, he said, you tell, what was his name? Rufus Buck. He said, you tell Rufus I ain't got nothing to say to him. They pulled pistols on that man and said, it's not a request. His own fucking deputies. Oh, God. That motherfucker was sitting there eating that steak and shit. They up the motherfucking bangers on him like, bitch, bring your punk ass out of here. I can see that kind of shit happening if they pass some like legislation like that. Because that's what they want. They want to get, how many times I've been telling y'all? How many times y'all heard me tell y'all this? They gonna get rid of cops, man. How many times? How many videos I done made where you done heard me say somewhere within my dialogue, they're gonna get rid of them. I'm gonna say it again in this video. They're going to get rid of cops. Read the King's Alfred's plan. Read all the other shit that they got out for Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2050. Read all of that shit. And within it, it tell you about getting rid of them. The Georgia Guidestones talks about getting rid of cops. It tell you to get rid of useless agencies. Go back and Google the fucking 10 commandments or how many fucking commandments they had to the Georgia Guidestones. They had it in plain sight where they told you they gonna get rid of these motherfuckers. Cops are useless. The vast majority of them. I'll leave a little bit of room just in case there are some good cops out here. Just in case. Right? The vast majority of them motherfuckers are useless. Period. But anyway, you guys do whatever it is y'all want to do. If y'all made it to the end of this video, much love to y'all. Much respect for watching and listening to the end. I appreciate it. But to be aware is to be alive, man. You don't need to sit up here and watch a motherfucker making 15 videos a day or doing 9-hour live streams and shit to understand that you have to do something. You, as the individual that's watching these fucking videos, you have to do something. It's the original Lone Wolf, man. Much love to all my subscribers, man. Much love to the world. I'm out.